Most people walk through life avoiding discomfort, running from hardship, and seeking the easiest path. They want results without struggle, strength without sacrifice, and success without suffering. But the truth is, the mind remains weak when it is never tested. The body grows stronger through resistance, through weight, through strain. The mind is no different. It must be calloused through adversity, through relentless pressure, through deliberate suffering. When you wake up in the morning, there's a voice inside you that tells you to stay in bed, to take it easy, to push things off until later. That voice is your enemy. It's the voice of weakness, of mediocrity, of a life that will never amount to anything. If you listen to it, you lose. The battle is won or lost in the split second when you decide to move or to surrender. Train your mind to reject that voice. The moment you start thinking about quitting, about slowing down, about backing off, that's the moment you push harder. Pain is the pathway to strength. Every time you endure suffering and keep going, you build a layer of callous on your mind. Every hardship you embrace adds another layer. Those layers turn you into something unbreakable. When life throws punches, when the storms come, when chaos surrounds you, you don't break, you don't fold, because you've already endured worse by choice. You've trained yourself in the fire so the flames can't touch you. Discomfort is your greatest teacher. The problem with most people is they want to feel good all the time. They want comfort, pleasure, and easy victories. But nothing great is ever achieved from a place of comfort. Comfort is the killer of ambition, the destroyer of discipline, the graveyard of potential. You must actively seek out difficulty. Put yourself in situations that force you to struggle, to doubt yourself, to fight through the urge to quit. That is how you build a mind. That is how you become something more than just another average person walking through life with no fire, no purpose, no edge. You have to rewire the way you think. Most people see struggle as suffering, but you must see it as training. When you feel pain, exhaustion, or doubt, recognize it for what it is: growth. The moment you feel like stopping, you are at the threshold of transformation. Most people never reach that point because the second it gets hard, they turn back. But those who push through, who embrace the suffering, are the ones who rise above, the ones who separate themselves, the ones who achieve what others never could because they were willing to endure what others never would. Your mind is a muscle. If you don't train it, it stays weak. If you let it control you, it will keep you soft, scared, and average. But if you take control, if you force yourself to push beyond what you think you can handle, you will find that your limits were never real. They were just illusions created by fear, by laziness, by the lies you told yourself. Every time you break through a mental barrier, you realize how much more you had inside you. And the more you do it, the more unstoppable you become. People will tell you to take it easy, to relax, to enjoy life. They don't understand what you're chasing. They don't get the war that's happening in your head. Their words are poison because they want you to be like them. Content, comfortable, weak. But you're not like them. You are building something inside you that they will never understand. When they rest, you grind. When they quit, you keep going. When they settle for mediocrity, you push for greatness. It's a daily battle. There are no shortcuts, no easy roads, no secret formulas. It's just you versus you. It's about waking up every single day and deciding to be better than yesterday. It's about putting yourself in the fire and refusing to back down. It's about proving to yourself that you are not like everyone else, that you refuse to live a life of regret, that you will not be defined by weakness. Callous your mind. Build the armor that will carry you through the storms. Take the hits, embrace the pain, and keep moving forward. One day, you will look back at the person you used to be, the one who was afraid, who hesitated, who made excuses, and you will realize that person is gone. You will have become something else, something unshakable, something unstoppable. And at that moment, you will understand what it truly means to take time to train your mind. The choice is yours. Stay soft or get hard. Stay weak or get strong. Stay the same or evolve. The mind will not toughen itself. It must be forged in the fire, built through struggle and strengthened through suffering. That is the only way. So stop waiting. Stop hoping. Stop looking for the easy way. Take control, callous your mind, and step into the fire. It's time to train. It's time to become the person you were meant to be. Most people spend their entire lives running from discomfort. They avoid pain, dodge adversity, and cling to the illusion that life should be easy. But comfort is the enemy. It dulls the mind, weakens the body, and strips away the very essence of what makes a person strong. If you want to rise above mediocrity, you must train your mind to embrace suffering. You must learn to find comfort in the uncomfortable, because the moment you decide to do that, you separate yourself from the masses who quit the second things get hard. Pain is the great teacher, the ultimate forge of the human spirit. The world has conditioned you to believe that pain is a signal to stop, but in reality, it's the only true indicator of growth. Every time you push beyond what you thought was possible, you expand your limits. Every time you override that voice in your head telling you to quit, you become stronger. Your mind is like a muscle. It only grows through resistance. If you never challenge it, it remains weak, fragile, and easily broken. But people don't want to hear that. They want shortcuts. They want the prize without the process, the reward without the work. That's why they stay stagnant. They say they want success, but they're unwilling to endure the suffering required to earn it. They say they want to be great, but they crumble when they meet resistance. The truth is, greatness is built on a foundation of relentless hardship. And if you're not training your mind every single day, you will fall short when the moment of truth arrives. Training your mind starts with a choice to stop seeking the easy way out, a choice to intentionally put yourself in situations that test your limits. When you wake up and don't feel like getting out of bed, that's the moment to move. When your body screams for you to stop, that's when you push harder. Every time you override your natural instinct to seek comfort, you strengthen your mental armor. That's how you callous your mind. It's how you build a fortress of resilience that nothing can penetrate. The problem is that most people live their lives dictated by feelings. They act only when they feel motivated. They train only when they feel strong. They work hard only when the conditions are perfect. That's weakness. The reality is, motivation is fleeting. It will abandon you when you need it most. Discipline is what will carry you through the storm. And discipline is forged in suffering. If you only train your body but neglect your mind, you will fail the second adversity hits. That's why you must take time to train your mind. That's why you must make discomfort your home. This isn't about achieving a single goal. This isn't about one victory. This is about rewiring your entire mindset so that suffering is no longer something you run from, something you embrace. Because life will not ask for permission before it punches you in the face. Life will not wait for you to be ready before it breaks you down. And when that moment comes, if you haven't been training your mind every single day, you will collapse under the weight of it. People say they want success. They say they want to be the best. But when the suffering starts, they break. They tell themselves it's too much, that it's not worth it. That's the difference between those who stay average and those who transcend. The ones who make it are the ones who have conditioned themselves to endure the unbearable. They have trained their minds to ignore the pain, to keep moving when everything in their body is screaming for relief. That's the kind of mental strength that separates the great from the mediocre. That's what it means to get comfortable being uncomfortable. You must seek out suffering. You must chase discomfort like it's the only thing that matters. Because in a world that promotes softness, in a society that encourages excuses, the only way to rise is to do what others refuse to do. Get up early when you don't want to. Push yourself harder when you feel like quitting. Say yes to challenges that scare you, because every time you do, you reinforce the unshakable belief that you can withstand anything. Every time you refuse to back down, you strengthen the foundation of an indestructible mindset. The weak wait for life to test them. The strong test themselves every single day. They go out and seek hardship because they understand that true growth only happens in the struggle. They understand that comfort is the slow death of ambition. If you want to achieve something extraordinary, you cannot afford to live like everyone else. You must live at the edge of your limits. You must put yourself in situations that stretch you, that break you down, so you can build yourself back up, even strong. Most people live in a bubble of comfort, avoiding pain at all costs. And when life inevitably throws adversity their way, they crumble because they were never prepared for it. They never trained their minds to endure. And that's why they lose. That's why they quit. Because they never took the time to develop the most powerful weapon they have, your mind. If you refuse to train it, if you refuse to condition yourself to handle pain, then when the time comes, you will fall, and there will be no one to blame but yourself. So stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop looking for an easy way. The only way is through suffering. The only way is through pushing yourself beyond your limits every single day. Train your mind like your life depends on it, because it does. When the world tests you, when life comes for you, when you are at your lowest, your mind will be the only thing that saves you. And if you've trained it well, if you've built it through relentless hardship, you will not break. You will not quit. You will rise. And you will prove to yourself that nothing, not pain, not fear, not failure, can stop you. Take the time, train your mind, and when the world throws everything it has at you, you'll be ready. You wake up every morning and the first battle begins before your feet even touch the ground. The war isn't with the world, the circumstances, or the obstacles ahead. It's with yourself. The mind is the most ruthless opponent you will ever face. It knows your weaknesses, it knows your fears, and it will exploit them if you let it. Most people lose this battle before they even step out of bed. They negotiate with comfort, they entertain doubt, and they surrender to the voice that tells them they aren't strong enough, fast enough, or smart enough. And that's why they stay the same. They don't train their minds. Winning the war in your head starts with one thing: discipline. Not motivation, not inspiration, not waiting for the perfect moment. Discipline. Motivation fades. Some days you won't feel like pushing yourself. Some days the weight of life will make you want to curl up and quit. That's when discipline takes over. It's the ability to get up and do what needs to be done, no matter how you feel. It's about rewiring your brain to stop seeking comfort and start embracing the grind. The mind will always choose the path of least resistance unless you train it otherwise. So you have to force it to obey. You have to program yourself to attack the day before the day attacks you. But let's get one thing straight. This isn't easy. Nothing about mastering the mind is easy. If it were, everyone would be walking around with unshakable mental strength. Instead, people are stuck in their cycles of excuses, blaming their circumstances, pointing fingers at everything except the real problem: themselves. They haven't put in the reps. They haven't trained their minds to fight back against weakness. They haven't conditioned themselves to reject mediocrity. Every single day is an opportunity to sharpen your mind like a blade. But most people let the blade rust. You need to start recognizing when your mind is trying to break you. That voice that whispers, you can sleep in, or you'll start tomorrow, or you deserve a break. That voice is your enemy. It's the enemy inside you that wants you to stay soft, that wants you to stay weak. You need to kill that voice. Every time you ignore it and push through, you win a small battle. And those small battles add up. Before you know it, you've built a mindset that can't be broken. You've created a version of yourself that doesn't fold under pressure, that doesn't seek shortcuts, that doesn't quit. Training your mind means deliberately stepping into discomfort every single day. It means putting yourself in situations that test your limits. Too many people avoid struggle like it's the enemy, when, in reality, it's the only path to growth. You have to chase the pain, seek out the suffering, and force yourself to endure. That's how mental toughness is built. You don't get it by reading a book or watching a motivational video. You get it by throwing yourself into the fire and refusing to burn. When you train your mind, something incredible happens. You become free. Free from the self-doubt, free from the fear, free from the mental shackles that have been holding you back. The weak mind keeps people imprisoned in their own excuses. They live their lives as victims, waiting for the perfect conditions, blaming everyone else for their lack of progress. But a trained mind creates its own path. A trained mind creates its own path. A trained mind refuses to be held back by anything or anyone. A trained mind finds a way, no matter what. But don't think for a second that you'll wake up one day and suddenly have an unbreakable mind. That's not how this works. This is a lifelong process. Every day is a test. Every day you have to choose whether you're going to be strong or weak, whether you're going to push forward or fall back into comfort, whether you're going to conquer your mind or let it conquer you. There will be days when the doubt creeps in, days when you feel like the weight of the world is too much to carry. That's when you have to remind yourself why you started. That's when you have to dig deep and find that fire inside you, the fire that refuses to let you quit. The fire that says, I am built for this. Because the truth is, you are. You are capable of more than you ever imagined. But you'll never know what you're made of if you don't push yourself beyond your limit. People talk about confidence, about self-belief, about having a strong mindset, but here's the truth. Confidence isn't given. It's earned. You earn it through suffering. You earn it through struggle. You earn it by proving to yourself day after day that you can do what your mind tells you is impossible. You don't get a strong mind by avoiding the hard things. You get it by attacking them head on. And let's be clear, there is no finish line. There is no point where you get to say, I've trained my mind enough. I'm done. The moment you stop pushing, the moment you stop testing yourself, is the moment weakness starts creeping back in. It's a never-ending battle. But that's the price of being unstoppable. That's the price of being mentally tough. Most people aren't willing to pay it. Most people would rather stay comfortable, even if it means being miserable. But not you. You are here to win. You are here to train your mind until it becomes your greatest weapon. Stop making excuses. Stop letting the weak version of yourself win. The war in your head is real, and it's happening every second of every day. You either fight back or you lose. Train your mind like your life depends on it. because it does. The world will test you. Life will throw punches, pain, failure, setbacks. They are all coming for you whether you like it or not. But if your mind is strong, none of it will break you. You will keep moving forward. You will keep grinding. You will keep proving to yourself every single day that you are unbreakable. Train your mind, win the war in your head, and never stop pushing. Most people spend their lives waiting for the right moment, the right opportunity, the right conditions. But life doesn't wait. It doesn't give you a warning before it throws you into the fire. That's why you don't have the luxury of being unprepared. You don't have time to get ready when the storm comes. You must already be ready. And that readiness doesn't come from a sudden burst of motivation. It comes from the relentless, disciplined training of your mind every single day. The mind is the first thing to break when pressure mounts. Before the body gives in, before exhaustion overtakes you, the mind quits. That's why training it is non-negotiable. Most people strengthen their bodies, but they neglect the most powerful weapon they have, their mind. They let it stay soft, weak, and untested. And then, when life hits them with adversity, they crumble because they never built the mental armor to withstand it. If you don't take time to train your mind, you will always be a victim of your circumstances. Every single day, there is a battle going on inside your head. A battle between the weak voice that wants you to stay comfortable and the warrior inside you that knows you are meant for more. That weak voice will always be there. It will tell you that you've done enough, that you deserve to take it easy, that you should have stopped pushing so hard. It will try to convince you that pain is something to avoid, not something to embrace. That voice is a liar. It is the voice of mediocrity, of stagnation, of weakness. The only way to silence it is through action, by choosing discomfort, by choosing struggle, by choosing growth every single time. People talk about motivation, but motivation is unreliable. It fades, it disappears when things get hard. It's why you can't rely on it. What you need is discipline, an unshakable commitment to do what must be done, no matter how you feel. You don't wait to feel like training your mind, you just do it. You don't wait to feel like embracing discomfort, you seek it out. You build discipline through action, through doing the hard things that most people avoid. And over time, that discipline becomes unbreakable. That's what makes you different. That's what makes you ready. Mental toughness is not something you're born with. It's something you forge through relentless effort. You build it by putting yourself in situations where you are uncomfortable, where you are tested, where you are forced to adapt. The only way to get stronger is to face resistance. Without resistance, there is no growth. That's why you must put yourself in situations where you want to quit and then refuse to. That's how you train your mind. That's how you build unshakable resilience. You don't become tough by accident. You become tough by choice. Pain is inevitable. Struggle is inevitable. Life is going to test you whether you're ready or not. So you have two choices. You can either prepare for it, harden yourself, train your mind and body to be ready for anything, or you can stay soft, weak, and hope that life goes easy on you. But life doesn't go easy on anyone. It will come for you. It will push you to your limits. And if you haven't built yourself into someone who can endure, you will break. Most people don't realize that the mind is like a muscle. It responds to stress, to challenge, to discomfort. Just like lifting heavy weights makes the body stronger, putting your mind through difficulty makes it tougher. If you avoid struggle, if you avoid hardship, you are choosing to remain weak. And weakness is not just physical, it is mental, emotional, and spiritual. Weakness is what makes people quit. Weakness is what makes people settle. Weakness is what makes people live their lives full of regret, knowing they never became what they were truly capable of being. But strength? Strength is built in the moments when you don't want to keep going, but do anyway. Strength is built in the moments when your body says, I can't, and your mind says, yes, you can. Strength is built when you make the choice to push forward, no matter how hard it gets. Some people want an easy path. They want shortcuts. They want results without the effort. But there is no shortcut to mental toughness. There is no shortcut to staying hard. You have to go through the fire. You have to put yourself through the suffering, through the discomfort, through the adversity that forges you into something unbreakable. And that's what separates those who are ready from those who are not. The ones who are ready are the ones who have spent every single day training for the battle, not just physically, but mentally. They don't need a pep talk when adversity hits. They don't need external motivation to keep going. They just execute because they have trained their minds to be ready for anything. Most people never push themselves beyond their comfort zone. They live within the limits their mind has set for them. But those limits are not real. They are self-imposed. The mind will tell you that you're done long before you actually are. It will tell you that you have nothing left, that you can't take another step, that you can't endure another second. But the truth is, you have so much more inside you. You have reservoirs of strength, of resilience, of power that you have never tapped into because you have always stopped when it got hard. When you push past that point, when you go beyond what your mind says is possible, that's when you discover what you're truly made of. You don't wait until life forces you to be strong. You don't wait until you have no choice. You prepare now. You train now. You harden yourself now. Because when the moment comes, when life tests you, you won't have time to get ready. You either are or you aren't. And the difference is what you choose to do every single day. You choose to stay hard. You choose to stay ready. And that choice will define you.